Hello, my dear friends. At this very moment, I would like to conduct a small investigation for all of you. This is the mission investigation. Here, we're going to examine 5 alarms. And while we're examining these 5 alarms, I also want to investigate the different types of alarms that are located within them. First, I want to explain the dashboard. Our dashboard looks like this, everyone. When you first log in, you will be presented with a page just like this one. Our starting point, our primary focus, is our missions. Pause. Here, you'll find actual alarms that have been documented and presented in the form of a detailed narrative history. Every single one of these, my friends, is a genuine real-world alarm. By thoroughly investigating each of them, you can learn precisely how the alarm was triggered, what specific actions can be taken to intervene, and much more, all through this method. And over here we have the CTFs. When you first get started, this particular page won't be displayed to you. That's because the system won't prompt you to make this selection, as it doesn't possess sufficient information about you yet. But this will be in the form of simple alarms that the system defines for you. There will be various kinds of alarms. When you investigate these, this area will become accessible with the points you accumulate from here. Therefore, you will be able to choose from here whatever you want to do, whatever you want to work on, at any time in any way you prefer. So, if I want to become a SIM analyst, I can simply click on this and it will allow me to see only the system's alarms that are specifically related to SIMs. Alright, let's begin from this point right now. As our very first step, I'm going into the mission. My friends, our main objective here is a truly real, to be able to understand the exact nature of how the cyber attack occurred, and in doing so, to analyze it. Now, I'm starting with our very first alarm here, and by the way, when you investigate each and every alarm here, once you've passed a 70-point threshold, it will provide you with all the necessary information, give you the full details, and shed light on this cyber attack. Let's click on this right here. Our very first alarm that has been triggered is phishing email detected. Now, as you can clearly observe right here, there is a specific mission. The comprehensive details pertaining to this particular mission are also displayed right here. From here, yes, the sender is clearly identified, the recipient is clearly identified, the date is clearly specified, and additionally, as you can see, a piece of malware has been attached. That's not a problem. Now, let's begin to analyze this using an OSINT tool. This, by the way, is our playbook. Once we have completely gone through this entire playbook, the system will then give us a score. Yes, our internal IP address, it's local, and it appears to be clean. Yes. Our external IP address, however, appears to be malicious. The sender is looking suspicious, and we also have a hash value. The hash also appears to be malicious. No problem, just next. Once we move to the second step, it will show up here in the action section. These red ones will be marked as malicious or suspicious. Now, this email address arrived via email. Therefore, what we need to do is read the information here and act accordingly. Given that it's an email, right at the outset I want to perform the actions that are required of me. Is it necessary for me to isolate a host, or is it not? No, it's not necessary. I say block hash, I say collect forensic. And then the IP address here, this IP address is also malicious. Therefore, I also want to block this specific IP address. Following this, my intention is to escalate it to the next stage. Because why exactly? Well, as you can see, the system appears somewhat complicated. Therefore, since you've begun analyzing this as a tier 1, you need to escalate it. You don't have to do this if you choose not to, but the system will grant you extra points for it. I will continue. The system is, of course, indicating a true positive alarm. You can write this down or you don't have to. That's completely up to you. But I personally want to upload it right away. I uploaded it and we got a perfect score. Perfect. Our very first investigation has been completed. Yes. Let's switch to a dashboard, you see. Since we've successfully completed the very first alarm, it has now provided us with a specific detail, and that particular detail is right here. Yes, indeed, what does it actually say here? Initial alert. Initial alert. Operation target current has detected a phishing email. Target, I don't know what. Alright, let's move on to the second area. Our second alarm is here too. Oh, as you can see, malware execution has already happened, and our EDR is displaying the alert now. And in Explorer, an exe launched PowerShell. And from PowerShell, conhost was launched. Let me check the details right away. Our detailed information is also right here. This is our raw log file, but we don't need it. I want to move on to the investigation right away. Let's continue. Yes, our IP address, as you can clearly see, is malicious. Our hash is also malicious. That's what was stated. We'll definitely be taking a closer look at that. And in the interim regarding the famous John Doe we're about to employ, I'm proceeding with our discussion. Let's take a moment to consider what exactly we need to accomplish here. Pause. For this specific incident, a malicious file has been executed. It's explicitly stated right here. It clearly says executed. I immediately proceeded to isolate the host. I said block hash. Then I said collect forensics. By the way, I might do this or I might not. It's completely up to you. I said block the IP address. Do we absolutely need to reset the credentials? I don't believe that's the situation. If you'd like, you can go ahead and flag this. You should escalate it up the chain again. The higher authority will make the final decision. I'm escalating this and moving forward. Let's see what the outcome will be. Naturally, it's a true positive because the malicious file has already executed. I'm continuing. Sign yes, we got 100. I'm calling this our next mission. By the way, at the third alarm, it turned out to be our EDR once again. I'm heading back in precisely the same manner. There's something specific I want to observe. I want to see the information that will be given to us after the second alarm. The information has been provided here in the same way. The details are here. Let's investigate the third alarm without wasting any time. The attacker has used, yes, malware and achieved persistence. I'm checking again right away. PowerShell ran with conhost, but on this occasion, if I'm not mistaken, yes, if I'm not mistaken, this time around, PowerShell has been successfully launched from the command prompt, and we are now ready to proceed. From this very moment, let's immediately initiate the scanning procedure. I am currently executing the scan. As you can plainly see, the hash value has once more identified this as a malicious file. Yes, the actual executable file itself is located right here, by the way, and it has also unequivocally stated that it is indeed malicious. Internal user audit, he mentioned compromised user, pause. He also referred to it as suspicious, pause. I'm going to move on to the second section right away. The very first thing I had to do in this particular situation, because it was an executable file, I immediately isolated the system. Then I went ahead and blocked the corresponding IP address. And finally, I also blocked the specific hash file. By the way, it's indicating a compromised user. I need to immediately perform a credential reset. I also need to collect forensic data and escalate this to the higher-ups. Friends, this alarm is quite complicated, and because of its complexity, you must mark all of these points. We are absolutely not closing this. I'll continue. I'm calling this true positive. If you want, you can write it here, or if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's no problem. When I uploaded it, the system immediately gave me a perfect score, and that was that. Now I want to move on to our next investigation. Oh, our next investigation is lateral movement to OT network. Yes, look here, because there's a firewall alarm. It's showing us a firewall simulation. I want to see the raw log. We also have a hash file here. We have the file itself. It's connected via SMB, and our IP address is clearly visible here. Alright, I'm coming right away. Let's quickly perform an OSINT. We don't do these individually, friends. The system here already handles it automatically. We need to acquire and understand anything we select from here. Our IP address was malicious, the file was malicious, and that's it. I'm continuing right away. What I need to do here is I'm saying isolated host because the executable ran again. I'm saying we should reset the credentials. Is that correct? John Doe is experiencing some trouble. After that I say collected evidence. I'm blocking the hash file. By the way, I want to block it, but usually the hash, yes, I am blocking it. Do I need to block the IP address? The IP address itself. This is an internal file and an internal IP address. Both of these are. You can mark it or you can choose not to mark it. That's entirely up to you. But you are able to do this. I mean, it goes from this point to that point, and so... Well, this is internal. I couldn't quite tell. This block, let's block it, and then I'll continue. Should we escalate this one? Yes, definitely. We should escalate it. For the third one, I'm marking it as true positive. I'm continuing now. Since we were able to fully investigate this, we got a perfect score here, too. I'm moving on to the next system, 5-5. This is the last one. The alarm we are currently receiving, it's an alarm that was completely generated by the SIM card. Therefore, I would like to see a login record. Yes, he got in from here and executed this command. By the way, because of this hash file, there's also a malicious SSH file. Well, yes, that means it was executed from this location. Let's quickly proceed. I'm currently investigating the situation. Yes, once again it reported that the file itself was malicious. It also clearly stated that the IP address was malicious. Furthermore, it indicated that our bash file was malicious. This is clearly a script, and it also identified a specific user. The user is quite suspicious, therefore what we need to do is make our decision right away. I said to isolate the host. I said to block the IP address because it's going here. I said to block the file hash. I reset the credentials because we have an issue with the user. I collected forensics and then escalated it. I'm continuing. And we got full marks here, guys. Our first mission is now complete. You have to see their scores. And by the way, all of our scores are right here.